Today, Rex Tillerson, the former head of Exxon Mobil, received his vote and is now our new Secretary of State. I would go through his list of qualifications and past work history, but I already did. He worked at Exxon Mobil, and that's pretty much all he did. Now, he wasn't always the head of it. He had to work his way up, but that is the extent of it. No military experience, no diplomatic experience. New Secretary of State. He was voted in 56 to 43, which means that almost all of the Democrats voted against him. Thank God he should not fill that position. And you might think, well, Secretary of State, really important position, one of the next in line to be president. It's probably always contentious, right? But no, it's not, and never really like this, not 56 to 43. Condoleezza Rice was considered controversial. She passed 85 to 13, and Henry Kissinger, who would go on to become one of the dominant war criminals in recent American history, was confirmed 78 to 7. So for Tillerson to get 56 to 43 is a historic level of opposition to a Secretary of State. A really fast, interesting little trivia for you. Someday you can quiz Michael Shore on this. Elaine Chao received her vote and is the new Transportation Secretary. And according to C-SPAN, she is the first Transportation Secretary to ever receive even one no vote, and she received multiple.
Oh,
so
really?
the Democrats are going against these people,
Wow.
not enough to stop them because they don't have the numbers, but they are opposing them. And so Rex Tillerson is going to be our Secretary of State now, a guy who apparently has been put in to secure oil deals and profits for Exxon Mobil, who his only history dealing with heads of state are as a representative of Exxon Mobil, dealing generally with autocratic, authoritarian rulers, and in a way that we would consider incredibly corrupt here, sometimes going against State Department recommendations to deal with the leaders of certain countries, will now be the head of that same department.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to add to that. I think everyone should be a little concerned, especially when you take Rex Tillerson's new role in the federal government into context with everything else that's happening regarding national security. One of the bigger news stories earlier this week was how Donald Trump decided to demote two of the most experienced officials in the National Security Council and then promote Steve Bannon as someone who will be in on every single one of those meetings. Steve Bannon has no experience when it comes to the issue of national security. Steve Bannon is a conservative mouthpiece for conservative media and a known racist. Like, okay, so he's going to be in this meeting while actual, experienced individuals have been demoted and won't be called to these meetings unless they're necessary, unless they're needed.
Exactly.
And then you have this situation with Rex Tillerson, who has no experience. There are so many countries that are going through incredibly complex transitions, conflicts. Does he know about the nuances of all these issues? I mean, almost every country right now, from Brazil to Mexico to all these Middle Eastern countries, there's all this conflict happening right now. There's all these problems, whether it's economic or religious, and I don't know if he has what's necessary to protect this country, to make the right decisions, and not just use this position of power for, profit motives.
Yeah. He may not have those things, but he does have the Order of Friendship Award he got from Russia.
Oh, thanks God.
But anyway, yeah, you're totally right. I mean, it's an incredibly, it's not even just us saying we face an incredibly difficult, complex, war-torn world. That's what Trump's been saying this whole time. And so he chooses a guy who doesn't know anything about that. And as you pointed out, I mean, those changes in the National Security Council, I think we talked about it on the show, but the National Security Council was brought together so that in one small setting, the president could get the most important advice from all of the people best equipped in the national security community to give it to him, to get rid of the Director of National Intelligence, who replaced the CIA head, and the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So the head of intelligence, the head of the military, don't need to be involved in national security conversations, do they? Let's put a political hack job from Breitbart. But anyway, we do have an interesting quote, though. A lot of people obviously have been against Rex Tillerson, but I saw this from former U.S. Ambassador Ryan C. Crocker, a great sort of summary of a little bit of what we've been talking about. He said, Tillerson faces the most difficult task of any Secretary of State in the post-war era in trying to reconcile President Trump's intention to make a radical break from decades of bipartisan consensus, U.S. foreign policy leadership, with the reality that, if he succeeds, such a break could lead to global chaos. And that exists in terms of his approach to the Middle East, but also Europe, to NATO, to the EU, to the UN. And this is a guy who, if he had supreme qualifications, would have an incredibly difficult task ahead of him. But he doesn't have those qualifications. He doesn't have the experience. And thanks to the massive exit of a number of the most experienced officials at the State Department, doesn't even have the backup to give him the on-the-job training he's going to desperately need.
You know who's going to stop Trump, stop the establishment, stop the corruption? You are. You help us hire new investigative reporters, and we will unleash it on them. tytnetwork.com/go. Let's build the best journalism team in America.